Grievance Gordy Show. Grievance Gordy Show. Grievance Gordy Show. Don't you know that's right? Always looking spiffy. Oh, I lost my comb. Come on. I swear, I never combed my hair from the 1980s until like 2010, 20, 2020. I think I started combing my hair just recently. I never combed it before. In case you don't know, my name's Gordon Douglas Ison. I'm the only Gordon Ison that matters. That's right. I was in a punk rock band in Detroit called the Grievance Committee. That's why I'm called Grievance Gordy. And we were marginalized from the scene. Started becoming about white power right around the time that Rancid and Green Day, who both have singers whose last name is Armstrong. There's nothing strange about that, but okay. Began to rise. Those bands didn't exist when I was writing songs for the Grievance Committee. I'm a writer. Now, when I was very young, okay, I was just talking about the 80s in Detroit. All my writing is in the description in Kindle. So I only have an hour to do this. I grew up in Detroit. I have 3 older sisters and a domineering mother. I didn't have a father. And I recently saw something really interesting. They were like, there's these billboards for fatherhood.gov. Fatherhood.gov. And in case you don't know, I'm a child of the media. I say I'm the son of the midnight movies. My mother used to write me notes to go see R-rated films in the 1970s. And bless her for that. And it's called fatherhood.gov. I've never seen anybody on any show talk about the fact that once you sign up for food stamps or welfare, which most families do need, if you're impoverished, then legally the father has to leave the house. You don't qualify. And if they catch the father in the house, well, you lose all your benefits. Okay, so this is your schizophrenic future. Okay, schizophrenia runs rampant in information that we get from the government. That information I have deemed, despite not looking as spiffy as shut up. Fuck you too. Media deep blue. And how I got this was from Stanley Kubrick's Monolith. Okay. So, by the way, they rushed me today. I'm going to try to do more shows for you guys. I had to take a little bit of time off. Thank you very much for putting up with me. Thank you. Okay. So, in Stanley Kubrick's 2001, they were showing something called orthogonality. That's what this is. It's a series of right angles. You look on Wikipedia, look up orthogonality. It'll lead you right into base pairs in your DNA. Also, check out Google's selfish ledger while you're at it, and check out the acronym best available technology. Okay, so that's just something for you to get into. There's a lot of non sequiturs on the show. I grew up in Detroit. I wrote about it in a book called Two-Legged Animal. The link is always in the description. And I want to remind you of something. I was part of an operation in 2017. That operation was to get me to commit suicide. And the people involved are federal agents from New York and Michigan. My wife knew about it, and my former drummer, who's a white pride skinhead from Michigan, knew about this. And they were using this device in order to drive me insane. My wife stole $300,000, and she got away with it because of this. And this same operation, I was really destroyed. And what it does is it eliminates your sleep to begin with, but it can also crush you hormonally. So if you're male, what they try to do is put you in the female position always. Right? It's just a fact. It has nothing to do with the patriarchy. It's just about domination, dominating somebody. And the people involved were people that I knew, were directly involved in this. Okay. These are snitches, bitches, DHS, Stasi. The second in charge of DHS already said that social media is being run by FBI. I have evidence of this coming from the second in charge of DHS. Okay. The DHS also said that they're going to use January 16th as the new 9/11. Okay. You can get into all that stuff if you want to. You can leave comments in the comment section. Please share my show. We talk about a lot of things. I use my own life as a litmus test and I put it in context of what we're talking about in larger society. What I'm doing right now is I moved to West Hollywood and I'm writing a novelization to a television series. This television series is about people who are into punk rock. If you're not into punk rock, fuck off and die. Okay? It's as simple as that. If you're not into this kind of music, you can fuck off and die, because that's what we used to say in the 1980s. Okay, I'll be doing a show about my novel on August 15th. You can check the old shows. On August 15th, I did a Napoleon's birthday tribute, which is going into my novel. Okay, but again, I want to take you back to 2017. I went to my family and I said, there's something wrong. I'm afraid. There's something happening. I don't know what it is. That was the year my wife stole all the money. They ran ops on me down in Florida. It was to crush me. My wife was laughing about it. She was participating in it. So anytime the door knocks, you have to worry that there's going to be a process server there in a civil rights claim. And you're not going to be able to complete any transactions in your life until that claim goes to court. So certain people have to worry about this. And certain people have to worry if they run into me that when I see them, and I'm talking about guys in my own band, that I'll just go ahead and assume that my life's in immediate danger and I'll take appropriate measures to protect my person. That's how bad this was torture. And I had people from Boston Edison, where some skank trash ex-girlfriend of mine used to live, calling me on the phone during this. So what I'm going to do is part of this show, I'm going to be background checking in these POSs. I'll get back on Facebook and I'll call them live right on the air. You better know that's right. You bet your Bippy, because Bippies get bet. So during 2017, David Strouder, who was in a band just like me from Detroit, he was in a band called Majesty Crush. He was acting very strange. The LAPD took him into custody and he died there. How he died, I don't know. Why don't you look into it and leave a comment in the comment section? That's right. This is an interactive show. Anyone can be involved in this. And if you got beef with me, you can come on my show. We can handle it however you want. I got to touch on a lot of things, guys. So please stay with me. Listen at 1.5 while you drive. That'd be kind of nice. Thank you. So I was acting strange as well. And it was coming from this. And what they do is through certain apps, this is the Facebook app. Make no mistake about it. Facebook is what they were using. So when people like my wife and my drummer are part of a tortious claim and a civil rights claim that's going to haunt them until the day they die first before me, well, Facebook is going to do the same thing. It's called PD, plausible deniability. They're going to be like, well, we didn't know these people had 2 Facebook accounts. We didn't know that people who are married to a man can press this fucking button right here and aim it at them and cause people to have Tourette syndrome. I'm the only one talking about this. Please share this information. Please take me up on it. Please challenge me. Grievance Gordon, that's right. My band was called Grievance Committee. Now all my songs are under Linoleum Blown Apart. I wrote every single song in the Grievance Committee and Linoleum Blown Apart. It's in a playlist. Please check it out. My book, Two-Legged Animal, was supposed to be an electronic book. And when I'm writing about the lyrics of my songs and writing about writing the song and who I'm writing the song about or who's in my life during that time, you were supposed to be able to press a button and you could listen to the song while you read about it. That was the concept that I had in 2013 to 2015. That's when my book came out, 2015. And I believe there's certain people who are directly involved in this pseudo lampooning. I mean, it's really pathetic. It turned into attempted murder. They were going to murder my mother and father. They were going to blame me. They've already blamed me. They said a guy who looks like Gordon murdered somebody associated to Disconnected Records. My drummer is directly associated with Disconnected Records. And the son, the Peckerwood son of a newspaper reporter in Michigan, part of a racist crew, used my likeness in a story. So people like him, POSs like him, have to worry for the rest of their life when they hear their name called that it's a fucking process server. That's what you got to worry about, sissy. So this is my life. This is my real life. In 2017, I was acting crazy too. It was this, depriving you of sleep. That's all they have to do. It's algorithmically based. It is FedRAT based. This is FBI based. And luckily, I was in Indiana and they just detained me for 72 hours. I was in the worst mental health facility that I could ever think to know. It was the worst run facility I've ever seen in my life. And I've been into a couple of them. This sent me to several of them. Not several, just two around that time, 2017, 2018. Gordon, get some help. I've got all females in my family. They have a natural appeal to authority. If a police officer in uniform came to them and lied flagrantly to their face, they would buy it hook, line, and stinker. Oh yeah, you better know that's right. There is no more kinship with you ladies. And there is no more friendship with any of these POSs from the Detroit punk rock scene in my band from the 1980s. You better know that's right. I never bragged about anything, but I guess maybe I should have. I always talk about Eminem. I don't really give a shit about Jack White. I'm a songwriter, so I believe that I'm on par with all of these people. Okay? I can pick up a guitar and actually write a song. I can demonstrate that for you, and I'm hoping to grow the show. I'll talk to anybody. I'll appear on anybody's show, any podcast, and I swear mine's going to get a lot more funner. You'll see over time, this show will develop. I promise you. I'm really a good guy. Everybody knows it. I don't understand, what people's problems are with me, but apparently it extends from, I understand ambivalence. Right? We only hurt the ones we love. But after about 30, 40, and 50 years of this, fuck you for life. Fuck you for life. These people don't have any talent. So I always talk about Eminem because he had a film called, boy, I tell you, just not looking spiffy enough. Fuck you. I swear I never combed my hair ever before. I just started doing it. Because it's just there's no lighting in here, whatever. But it's kind of interesting. In my early episodes, there was tons of lighting there. Oh wow, strange. So he talks about 8 Mile. Okay, that's what I call the Warren Tattoo Crew. Okay, that's Warren, Michigan police officers at the 8 Mile line. These were formerly racist cops. Now, of course, it's more of the blue wall of bullshit, the blue wall of silence. They work with African-American police officers and they force fake racism. That's what they do. Okay, racism is fake, it's controlled, and they use it to manipulate the populace. It's as simple as that. Either you buy into it or you don't. So in talking about Eminem, he talks about 8 Mile. I grew up at 6 Mile and Gratiot. Okay, that's where I came up. Rap didn't exist. Okay. BC era before computers. All right. I am the real thing, not Coca-Cola. Sorry. But there's a scene in 8 Mile. And Michael Shannon is in there. He's like, hey, you guys got a cigarette? Big wheels keep on turning. Steer me home, see my kin. Singing songs about the Southland. I miss my family once again, and I think it's a sin. Hey. All right, so I came up with classic rock as a child. As a child, my mother was dominating, running her mouth non-stop. I'm not faulting her for it, but she was working on my two sisters, my two middle sisters. That's all she really had time to focus on. So what I did as a young gentleman, I got into music. I couldn't say anything. The only time I would interject is to try to be funny, try to bring some levity. That levity, 30 years and 40 and 50 years later, turned into animosity with my family. They want to see me either dead. You could give them a polygraph, and a polygraph will tell you they would rather see me dead, completely out of the picture. So would the people at Disconnected Records, if you can believe this or not. That's how I consider all of them. I consider all of them to be persona non grata in my life. I have to. I don't have a choice. So Michael Shannon comes on. Hey, you guys want a cigarette? You guys got a cigarette? So you got this Michael Shannon character with the beautiful, formerly Mrs. Baldwin, Kim Basinger. Okay. And he's playing Eminem's mother. And you have Eminem like looking at his buddy and they're just kind of like rolling their eyes and laughing, right? They're of the rap culture. Michael Shannon is of the classic rock culture. Okay. And where was punk rockers? Right here in the middle. Linoleum Blown Apart, the on-demand series that we are willing into existence, there is a place for it. And there it is right there, right in Eminem's 8 Mile. We were right in the middle. We were about the Cocteau Twins, Susie and the Banshees, oi punk, ska punk, new wave. All of this is completely dismissed in our culture. When Linoleum Blown Apart comes out as a television series, and it will be an on-demand series. Okay? Our audience really is going to be anyone who's into punk rock, number one. But it's really aimed towards 40 to 70-year-olds, guys. 40 to 70-year-olds. These people buy merch, they buy songs, they buy music, and I don't understand. Anyone over the age of 50, I can't say it, being into this pop music that they're selling to the kids. I mean, come on, dude. Excuse burp alert. So this is the era that's completely missed out in our culture. That's the era that I came up in. And I write songs that have a hook in them. Okay, I keep talking. Right? You got to have it. Now, you're going to have an album worth of songs, 15 songs, and only 3 of them are going to have a really great hook that catches somebody, right? So you can't really have it on every song, but most of my songs, I would say half of them have this hook in it. Okay. So this is muy importante. Right? So there's that. And I just wanted to touch on that for a little while because we are going to will this into existence. You will see this television show get made. I have the music, and that's the most important part. During budgeting of a film. Now, after I was done in Detroit, I did 3 plays. I went on an audition and I booked my first audition as an actor. Never acted before in my life. Okay. Booked it straight away. And so, I gotta be quiet. I'll do another show later. Oh, that last show. Thank you very much for watching any of my shows. Thank you for watching this one. Thank you very, very much. I don't have a friend in the world. I moved out to California the way I moved to New York. I don't know anybody, and I started working right away. It's because I was young. I had a headshot, and I started working. I don't go around bragging about stuff. So when I moved to New York, like I said, I did 3 plays in Michigan, and I left. I went to New York. My girlfriend broke up with me. My drummer, who's still involved in white pride and white power, good luck driving through Detroit, sissy. When the word gets around about you, you phony bitch. Oh yeah, make no mistake about that. He started bringing skinheads down to our rehearsal area. They're writing White Pride. Well, he's tied into Disconnected Records, and they used the murder of Ron Beauty. And they said, a guy who looked mixed race did it. Babe, trying to blame me. Let me tell you one thing. In the other bands that were around, which were Son of Sam and the Almighty Lumberjacks of Death, they can't do what I do. I pick up the guitar and I write the songs, and I know how they go, as far as the lyrics are concerned and where the lyrics fit into the song with the hook. None of those bands could do that. They can't do it. Heresy isn't part of our milieu simply because they play D-beat, which is a different type of music. Son of Sam actually played more of a noise, like a garage noise style punk, right? Kind of dirgish. Right? And the only other band playing oi punk was ALD. And that's why those guys had to kick us out of the fucking scene. And instead of being like men, shaking our hand and say, hey, let's do a couple shows together. There you go. That's for you. Because it took two of them to write the songs that I could write myself. And I kept my mouth shut for years. I kept my mouth shut about a lot of stuff. Okay? I never said nothing. So I moved to New York City. I started getting work as an actor right away. I always tell you guys this. I did about 10 plays. My picture was in the paper. I worked at the Italian American Playhouse where Chaz Palminteri created A Bronx Tale. He's writing a new play right now, as a matter of fact. And shit, my other note for the show, I can't get it all wrapped up. I had 3 commercials. One of them was playing nonstop every single day. I was repped by the Don Buchwald agency. And like I said, my picture was in the paper, and I got picked to work at Ralph Lauren on their Double RL line. All of this before 1996. I'm not kidding. From 1992 to 1996, I burned a blaze. I burned a trail from Detroit to New York. And all these sissies can do is marginalize us. Easy for, and use this, and use tech, okay, to try to bring me down. No. And involve my wife too? No. No. Not on your fucking life. Now here's a game for you. It's called Who Dies First. How about that? So, like I said, I went to New York. I didn't know anybody. I started working. I never bragged about anything. I was the first to work on a set with A-listers. Nobody else in my milieu even was around an A-lister. Okay? Like I said, and I did it until about 1998. 1999, I just got out of there. Some guy OD'd in my apartment. I was still addicted to drugs. And I was on the set with Demi Moore, by the way, and Tracy Lords. And a few others. I'll tell you about them sometime. And like I said, I was rep by Don Buchwald. I was in the elevator with the guy from Twisted Sisters, Dee Snider. He was getting acting work, if you know, at that time in the 90s. You got to go all the way back. Just like my novel, it's called Linoleum Blown Apart. It takes place in the 80s into the 90s, but then goes all the way back to what? 1929. Abel Gans, 5-hour epic Napoleon. Silent film. Actually came out in 1929. That's right. So I'm not really too excited about this Napoleon. I got to be honest. I'm a huge River Phoenix fan. I am somewhat of a fan of Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's okay. I think he took a cue from his brother. I think the death of his brother, he was able to imbue that power. And I apologize if you don't have the same belief system as me. Okay. My belief system is fuck authority and question everything. Okay. That's my belief system. So I believe these powers can be tapped into. Okay. So there's that. Anyways, like I said, I'm not really too excited about this Napoleon. Of course, I love Ridley Scott. Right? I am the son of the midnight movies. My mother used to write me letters to go, notes, and I would give them to him. The girl at the checkout, hello, this is Gordon's mother. Please allow him to go see Halloween in 1978. I was 12 years old. I was scared shitless. Shitless. Right? I was on the shit list. No, I was scared to death. Right? So, and again, our father was taken out of our home. And we're basically, not anymore, but at the time we were racially ambiguous. Okay, we look just like Greeks, Mexicans. I mean, you name it. We look Italian. We could be anything. You could say anything, but because we were mixed race, people lost their fucking minds. And guess who else was mixed race? David Strouder of Majesty Crush. Okay, he was killed in custody in 2017 right here. I was targeted during the same time. My wife knew about it, and my fucking piece of trash, lousy drummer who I trusted, right? He's not a producer. He's basically an idiot. He did what I told him to do. He was involved in 2 ops, one down in Florida when they're running gay ops. And that's what they do. They use African Americans and they use whites and they use the police department. And I'm not talking about any normal cops who just go to work and do their job. I think a lot of things has changed in the now era. I think a lot of things have changed. So it's a little bit different. But when you're targeted by FBI agents, it's pretty scary business. And they use these pieces of trash on the ground. Now, I told you that my wife was pointing this at me for 7 fucking years. She would press a button through the Facebook app, and it causes you to have Tourette's syndrome, and you're popping off, and you don't know what's going on. It's neurological damage. That's what it is. Okay? So, and that's what they did. And again, they can crush you hormonally. They can crush you any which way. So this guy is down in Florida, my drummer, pretending to be my friend. You're going to regret you ever fucking met me, sissy. And I think you already do. I caught his mother lying. I have it in my cloud. That's why I'm not worried about it. I have recordings of all this stuff. I have proof of all this stuff. I have proof of disconnected records. I've got, emails of these fucking people. But when they run with pieces of shit Fed rats who'll lie right on the stand, you might run into a few problems, especially people in the Warren Tattoo crew. So I'm all damaged. I'm all fucked up. They do run gay ops. They run suicide ops on me. All right. And I survive. I don't think my wife can believe it. She still has a thing on my iPad showing where I'm at. She's tracking and tracing me, which is more likely illegal. But again, when you're dealing with these corrupt federal officers, they'll just get on the stand and lie. They'll just flagrantly lie. This guy's a whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So that was in the 2017 to 2018 era. I went home and I was really damaged, but they were still doing this. They were still monitoring me. They meaning the Fed rats involved. And if you do a FOIA request, if you could get all of these emails from Facebook, as well as their own personal emails, that's my wife and my drummer for grievance committee, not the drummer for Linoleum Blown Apart, the drummer for the grievance committee, a white pride skinhead, sissy, coward, phony, no talent hack connected to the death of Ron Beauty. Also connected to the son of a newspaper reporter who is probably guilty of an accessory to murder after the fact. Make no mistake about that, boy. So this is my real life, guys. That's why I'm intense. You better know that's right. I have way more experience than most people right here in West Hollywood. Okay, my writing speaks for itself. My hooks in my songs speak for themselves. I play them every once in a while. I get a little reflection in my glasses. Oh, just like the reflection in my forehead. Let's take a listen, guys. Let me see what I can find here. As far as being able to play a little something for you. I'd like to be able to do that. Okay. So unfortunately, this song it's everything is out of tune. This song's called Desperation Kills. It's going to be used, all of my songs are going to be used in my property. I'm out of tune here. The drummer goes spastic. This is one of my favorite songs. It's desperation that's killing me. It's called Desperation Kills. Living how you never thought to be. I wrote this in the '04 era. It's up to you, cause only you will see. You always want to stay at home. You never want to leave. You're always texting on the phone. I could change it. I don't know if people were texting in the 90s. You're always talking on the phone. You never do anything. It's about the boredom and the ennui of being a young punk rocker. Don't forget that we were into goth as well. So there was metal, goth, punk, rap was starting to come in. Okay, there was a lot of stuff going on. Well, that's way too slow. Living where you never thought to go. But it's up to you, cause only you will see. You don't want to stay at home. You always want to leave. Always by the phone. See that? Always waiting by the phone. This isn't the flip phone era. This is '04. You never do anything. When you're lonely. And you need someone. Don't you think of me? Cause you're dead and I'm gone. So that's instead of saying, oops, so instead of saying you're dead and gone, oh, you're dead and gone, you're dead and I'm gone. Right? So it's a little play on words. I think it's pretty clever. You can hear that hook. So that is that hook in that song, while it might not be traditional punk rock, it is, this song would appear later on in the band called Linoleum Blown Apart. That's in my novel. That's going to be the series. You got to stick with me, guys. Okay, and Desperation Kills is going to be in Walter's second film called Pork Chops and the Who's Gal. And that's what the lead character is going to say when he goes in. It's like it's very similar to those boxing films from Stanley Kubrick and Scorsese, and the one written by Jim Thompson, After Dark, My Sweet, and combined it with Hitchcock's Psycho, because there's a psycho scene, there's a shower scene, there's a murder scene in the shower, and at the end he goes to kill his wife. This woman marries him, sets him up for murder, and she gets everything. So again, this is based on my real life. This is based on a woman that I met in the 1990s. And she set me up in 20, whatever it was, between 2010 and 2017. She stole $300,000 and left me to die. She wanted me dead. Make no mistake about that. Yeah, that's my real life, guys. I talk about it every show. Let's take a look at just really quickly. The title of the show is Completely Over Overculture, Emotionally Investing in Media Deep Blue. Now, Media Deep Blue was created by IBM. Hal, not the monolith, but Hal, this will be Hal, right here. Here's Hal. Here's the monolith, and here's Hal, right here, guys. Unfortunately, it is run by Fed rats, corrupt FBI. Okay, so Media Deep Blue is deep blue. There's medical deep blue. So I coined the term Media Deep Blue. Okay, so this is, Now, Deep Blue was chess. Now it's called Chat GPT AI. HAL is one letter off from IBM. Being one letter off is a cipher. That cipher is close to gematria. Okay, we'll get into that some other time. If you guys listen to my show, I tell you about gematria. I talk about the scribes. I talk about biblical things. I talk about Gnostic notions, right? I don't really concentrate. I was confirmed a Christian, a Lutheran. And I think that brings that rebellious spirit that I have, kind of keep it close to the vest, as it were. So, Deep Blue, I call media Deep Blue. I call the television show House Medical Deep Blue because the actor, Hugh Laurie, was the representation of medical Deep Blue. He was basically a computer. Okay, he had the recall of a computer. Very clever show, great show. I love television. The reason I'm here in West Hollywood, I'm pitching my novel, pitching my ideas. Luckily, I did get a nice little bonus recently, so I got a couple places where I can take a shower. People in these certain programs know that I'm homeless. They know that I live in West Hollywood, okay? And they know that I'm not an urchin, meaning that I'm not strung out on drugs. Okay, so that's important. They have what's it called? Well, it's called Fenty, but they call it Trank. And Trank, I believe, they're mixing the Fenty um, with the methamphetamine, which is very strange. It seems kind of weird. I'm not really so sure about that. If I'm buying into that, maybe the methamphetamine is keeping the drugs in the system a little bit longer, being able to ride that wave out. Okay, I do have a song called Wave, which is going to be my Smells Like Teen Spirit song. It's going to be the biggest song on the album. I predict that. One of the biggest ones. The second one is going to be called Back When. Back when, and back when, and back when. Okay, right. This is a punk rock show. This is a punk rock everything. So stick with me, please. Now, here you have, what are you going to emotionally invest in? It's about emotional investment. But unfortunately, this is a neurological weapon. This is Neuralink right here. And I'm living proof of that. Okay? So after I left New York, I climbed every mountain that you can climb and I conquered it. You better goddamn know that's right. Please put in the comment section anyone who can compete with me, because apparently a lot of these sissies back in Michigan, these suburban skinheads, actually believe that they were in some kind of competition with me. Okay, bring it on, motherfucker. Anytime, anywhere, you better know that's right. So I left New York and I promptly died in the streets of Las Vegas, just like Mad Mark Rude. Mad Mark Rude did the cover art for the Misfits Earth AD record. Okay. And it's one of the last Misfits records to come out. And he did the cover art for Earth AD. And he went to Las Vegas, became a tattoo artist, and OD'd. I went to Las Vegas, I OD'd, but someone called 911. And obviously I'm forever indebted to them. They're the ones who gave me the dope anyway. So I'm just glad they did. Yeah, damn. I fell out in the street. And they brought me back to life with Narcan, which is something that they didn't do for River Phoenix, unfortunately. And for his family, and this is with all due respect. So they brought me back, and I decided to write a book. I knew I was going to write a book. I knew I was going to, because I've been writing. When I was a little kid, I need you guys to know this. I get a little emotional. So please stand by. It's tough. I will cry on camera. I don't mind doing that. I'm a man. Make no mistake about that. And I'm a very traditional style person. But so I was a little kid, and I had to sleep in the same room as my sisters. And we were all in the same room together because, we grew up. That's how we grew up. And I didn't even get my own room until I had hair on my balls. I was like 11 years old. I had to have surgery. I had surgery on my testicles. I write about it in my book. Oh, hey, that's three balls. Hey, how you doing? Um, I write about it in my book, Two-Legged Animal. Please check it out. Only one person bought one of my stories. It's called The Big Kiss Off. And what the Big Kiss Off is when these broads act passive aggressive, you go out on a big trip with them. In case of my trash skank wife, we went to Europe. I'm like wondering, like, why are we going to Europe? Like, I don't really care. I'm like, oh, if you want to go. I thought I was married. I was gravely mistaken, and she has to worry about a process server knocking on her door for the rest of her life, and so do other people. So I call it the big kiss off, and that's what they do. It's this big passive aggressive fucking bullshit. Instead of telling me, hey, Gordon, I don't love you, okay, and like these fake sociopaths. That's why I call them fake sociopaths. My mother's a fake sociopath. One of my sisters is a fake sociopath. My wife is a fake sociopath. They're fake. Okay. They think they have to destroy a person for them to feel better. They got to completely crush a person. They don't know that things are symbiotic. They don't understand this at all. Okay. When I was a little kid, I used to write love letters to girls that I had crushes on. I didn't know that they wanted the captain of the football team. How would I ever know that? How am I supposed to ever know that until I'm old enough and I grow up and I'm like, oh, okay, they want somebody more assertive. And then unfortunately, I began using alcohol in order to have a more outgoing personality. And I didn't need to do that. I shouldn't have done that, but I was so shy. I spent most of my youth staring at the ground and listening to songs because my household was filled with little chatty Cathys running their fucking mouth nonstop. And I got news for some of you mothers out there. Some of you single mothers out there, you want to abuse your son? Why do you think they're out in the fucking streets, getting into trouble? Because if you're put upon, you're going to want to put upon somebody else. Okay? It's just a fact. If you're told that you're lesser than, that you were, I don't know, part of a group of, uh, what are they calling it? Non-privileged individuals, where you're going to go out there and you're going to want to non-privilege somebody else. This is why they use these Chairman Mao tactics in the schools. And these are the future elites that are coming up, right? That are indoctrinated, right? Why do you think they use young men in the military? I wish I would have went into the military. One of the guys in my band was in the military. He went AWOL, and that was punk rock back then. It's kind of cool. Go AWOL. Right? I'm in a crunch for time, guys. I'm really in a crunch for time. I gotta go. I really miss you guys. I miss having friends. I miss my family, but I'm not ever going to put up with any of these people again. You got enough of my time. You have enough of my emotional investment over the years for me to say, fuck you. Sorry. Like, yeah, where's the camera? For life. Thank you very much for watching my show. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. End.